What if the man who makes Leanne Battersby feel more loved than she has in years is also the one who brings back the terrifying memories of being controlled that she has fought so hard to overcome? Leanne's love life in Coronation Street appears to be entering a new chapter as she grows increasingly close to Idris Nazir. However, behind his glamorous, confident, and charming appearance, Leanne begins to notice a warning sign that prevents her from feeling completely comfortable about their relationship. Idris makes an unforgettable entrance in Weatherfield. He arrives in an expensive sports car and quickly demonstrates his strength by dealing with a pair of troublemakers at Speed Daal. His actions immediately catch Leanne's attention. After experiencing so much pain and disappointment in her romantic life, Leanne is naturally drawn to a man who appears decisive, sophisticated, and capable of making her feel special. Idris gives her the attention she has been missing, and his confident personality offers the excitement of a fresh start. However, Idris is not simply friendly and charming. His interactions with his associates have also revealed a colder, tougher, and possibly ruthless side to his personality. It is this contrast that makes his developing relationship with Leanne feel both romantic and potentially dangerous. Although Alia warns Leanne to be careful, Leanne remains convinced that she is strong enough to protect herself. Her reaction fits her personality perfectly. After everything she has experienced, she does not want anyone else making decisions for her or assuming that she is too vulnerable to recognize danger. The relationship between Leanne and Idris progresses extremely quickly. Idris gives her attention, affection, and the feeling of being valued, things she has been missing for a long time. For Leanne, this is more than simply a new romance. It also represents an opportunity to rebuild her confidence and believe that she still deserves to be with someone who treats her as a priority. Idris arranges an extravagant first date by booking a room at the Chariot Square Hotel. At first, everything seems to be unfolding like a glamorous love story. However, it is during this date that a seemingly small action from Idris completely changes the atmosphere. While Leanne is in the bathroom, Toya calls her. Idris does not want the phone call to interrupt their private moment, so he takes it upon himself to put Leanne's phone on silent. Unfortunately, an emergency occurs and Leanne is needed. What angers Leanne is not simply the fact that she missed the call. The deeper problem is that Idris interfered with her phone and decided on her behalf what was important. For someone who was previously manipulated and controlled while involved with a dangerous cult, his behavior immediately touches a very sensitive nerve. Leanne has worked hard to move beyond that traumatic experience. Therefore, even a relatively small act of control can remind her of how easily another person can begin taking away her freedom one decision at a time. She immediately establishes a clear boundary. Leanne makes Idris understand that regardless of how close they become, he has no right to control her life or interfere with her relationships. This is an important moment for her character because it demonstrates how much she has grown following her previous experiences. Instead of ignoring a worrying sign because she is afraid of losing the relationship, Leanne protects her independence and makes her expectations clear. From Idris's perspective, the confrontation teaches him that Leanne is not someone who can easily be manipulated. He is forced to step back and recognize that continuing the relationship will require him to respect the boundaries she has established. Despite the tension, the couple decide to make a fresh start. Leanne even introduces Idris to Sam Blakeman. This suggests that she is beginning to view the relationship seriously, as Sam is an extremely important part of her life. However, Idris becoming more involved in Leanne's personal world is certain to create discomfort and anxiety for Nick Tilsley. Nick may no longer be Leanne's husband, but the two of them still share a complicated romantic history and several emotional connections that are difficult to break. Seeing Leanne introduce another man to Sam could make Nick feel as though his place within their family structure is being threatened. These emotions could create growing tension between Nick, Leanne, and Idris in the coming weeks. Nick may claim that he is only concerned about Sam or Leanne's well-being, but his reaction could also reveal that he has not completely moved on from their relationship. Leanne and Idris are not only developing a romantic connection. They are also preparing to become business partners after Idris purchases a share of Speed Daal. For Leanne, this could be an opportunity to establish a stronger position at work. She may finally feel that she has someone supporting her when important decisions are made about the restaurant. Having an ally in the workplace could provide Leanne with a new sense of security and purpose. However, combining romance with business always carries serious risks. Should their personal relationship begin to fall apart, Speed Daal could quickly become the center of a power struggle. Idris has already shown how forceful and determined he can be in business, meaning Leanne could face a very different side of him if they disagree over how the restaurant should be managed. Their professional partnership could also make it much harder for Leanne to separate herself from Idris if she later decides that the romance is no longer healthy. Even if their relationship ends, they may still be forced to work together and make joint decisions. Based on the current developments, Idris putting Leanne's phone on silent may only be the first warning sign about his personality. He may genuinely care about Leanne and may not have intended to hurt her. However, his instinct to conciliation and remove anything that interferes with his plans could appear again in more serious ways. Leanne may eventually have to decide whether the affection, luxury, and security Idris offers are enough to outweigh the behaviors that make her uncomfortable. Her past experiences mean that she is more aware of manipulation than she once was, but her desire to feel loved could still make the situation emotionally complicated. Idris knows how to make her feel valued, and that may make it difficult for her to recognize when his protectiveness begins turning into control. Their business partnership at Speed Daal may also make it increasingly difficult for Leanne to walk away if their romance becomes troubled. Meanwhile, Nick's reaction and Idris's developing relationship with Sam are likely to become major factors in determining the couple's future. Nick could become suspicious of Idris and begin looking more closely at his behavior. While this may appear to be jealousy, he could also uncover information that gives Leanne a genuine reason to question the man she is dating. The biggest question is whether Idris simply made a thoughtless mistake because he wanted their romantic evening to remain perfect, or whether his actions reveal the beginning of a much more dangerous controlling pattern. Can Leanne maintain the boundaries she has worked so hard to rebuild as her feelings for Idris become stronger? Or will this glamorous new romance lead her into another situation in which someone slowly begins taking control of her life? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss the latest developments involving Leanne, Idris, and the other residents of Coronation Street.